It is okay to make more money. And I mean, at the end of the day, if you look at there is this mental separation that we do have where we think career professionals are just that professionals and they are not really in the game of looking for money. But in actual fact, the reason why you've got careers is because you want to build financial independence. And at some point, you want to be wealthy while you're doing a job or while you're maintaining a career that you absolutely love and feel fulfilled doing, right? So at the end of the day, the money is very key and very important because you want to have so much of it such that by the time you retire, you want to have so much to have and to keep for future generations, right? So you want to build generational wealth. And if that is the case, we don't talk enough about making money as career professionals. And I wanted to drop a seed with you all here that it is not okay if you are not. It's not okay if you're not actively thinking about how to make money as a career professional. Your worth and your work is not just for you to your work and your worth is not just for you to work hard and that is it. It's also for you to absolutely make money. And there's nothing wrong with you making money. Now, having that at the bottom of your mind, your career, I think I've talked about it here as well, where I said your career should be a profitable business. I think I've talked about it here. Or I said your career should be a profitable business, but I'll go a step further, a deeper into it. Now, as you go in this week, start becoming money conscious and start thinking about the business of your profession. And I learned this first. Obviously, I've always known about it and I always talk about it from the perspective of understand the business of your employer. If you understand the business of your employer, then you'll be able to build your business acumen. But I also like the way Olumide Emmanuel put it. He said that there is the business of your profession and there is your profession in itself, whatever that means. In which case, I think he was using in a particular illustration where he said, look at medicine, for instance. There are the medical doctors and nurses who clock in and clock out and do the work of being a doctor, being a nurse. And there are people who are in the business in itself who are like maybe financial managers of hospitals, um, who buy who buy and sell medical what's it called now franchises, people who are into PPEs, sell people who are into the production of medications and the rest. And those guys are not doctors, they're not nurses, they're just in the business of the profession. Now, if you really want to be wealthy as a career professional, you must think about the business of your profession and where you sort of land there. And beyond that, you must also think about the multiplication of the money you're getting right now. A lot of people don't learn this early enough. So I need you to understand that it will be a de it won't be great if you don't learn what to do with the money you're making right now. It doesn't matter how much you're making. You can be making as low as 100K, can be making as low as 50K, can be making as high as a million plus. It doesn't matter how much you're making. The underlying principles remain that you must invest your money. You must invest your money. It is important that you must create a way to invest your money. Save for emergency, then invest your money. Okay, so you must find ways. And look, I'm not the best person to give you the advice in terms of like your financial planning and all of that. I'm not the best person to give you the in total how to budget, how to whatever. I do it best for my own personal circumstance, how it pays me. And in fact, in some cases, I'm making a suboptimal choice because of my circumstance, but it is also to feed to remove some of the stress that I'm going through personally. So, so in some cases, I may not be making the most optimal choice that I would like to make, but that is my own personal circumstance. So I can't project that on you, for instance. Now, but what I will tell you to do is this, that you must be mindful, because one of the ways you can be happy in your career is if you feel comfortable that you have enough money to fall back on. It's just one of the triggers of happiness in your career. Once you have enough money stacked up somewhere, you feel more comfortable. You feel more comfortable to continue to grow your career. So think about it as you go this week. Start saving something on the side. Don't give all your money away to people. The problems people have will never end, but your money is limited, and you can't feed limitations to problems that don't finish. You can't feed. You can't. It's like matching a short term resource with a long term problem. There's going to be a mismatch problem. So take care of yourself. Keep your money. Multiply your money. There are basic tools you can use depending on the country that you're in. If you're in like the UK, for instance, there are there are phones that you can invest your money in. There are like apps that you can use to invest your money, like eToro. I use eToro because eToro is it's good. You is like investing in any typical bank. You can put your money in there. Do copy. I used to copy traders based on how much people like them, how meaningful the kind of stocks they invest in, based on their results so far year on year. Many, because I'm not a trader myself, but I like to copy those who are doing well, and obviously the quality of the stocks they've got in their portfolio as well. So you can use the Toro if you're in the UK. If you like it, check it out. You can invest your money in ETFs. And I remember even when I was back in Nigeria, I used to use um I think there was a time I was using, I think, Cowrie Wise. There was a time I was using some funds. Was that fund was it, I can't remember now. Was it a GTB fund or an ARM fund? One of it. I was using a fund I would save up on like those funds you would see they will give you the analysis of where they are investing the money into. If you want a long term, if you want a long term, what's it called? If you have a long term maturity in mind, like 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is, so you're not thinking about the money now, you can, invest in, you can take higher risks so that you can get higher return. And in the short term, losses in the short term can self correct. But if you're looking at for a short term purpose, you can just invest in like ETFs, some basic funds, that way your capital will be kept, and you would be able to get to take back your capital even if the market goes down. You may lose your interest, but you won't lose your capital, that kind of situation. But just find out more what you can do based on your environment. But just start. Again, you don't need to start. I remember then, I think with just 2000 era, I think then, I don't know what it is now. With just 2K, you can start a small investment. You can buy a small investment product, and then from there you can keep putting in your money. So go and find out, okay? You can have savings, your typical savings. You can have savings with like platforms or banks that have like savings account where they can put in small interest on top of it for you, and can use that one to build an emergency fund. And you can have like these um banks as well that have funds or whatever investment firms that have different funds that you can put your money into as well. And if you have a big chunk of money that has come through for you, you can think about real estate. You can think about buying a land. You can think about buying a house. So I need you to pay attention to your money. I need you to pay attention to your money. Don't, because again, and like I said, one of the best times personally for me in my career is when I can see that I'm making enough money to save and invest, and my mind is down, like my money is kept. Like I feel like I don't feel like if anything happens to my job, I'm gonna be scared or anything. Obviously, my level of insurance is multifaceted. And I built it like that. I'm highly skilled, and I mean it like highly skilled, not just from an experience point of view. My experience is I've got that ridiculous level of experience. That is one level of insurance. The next level of insurance is I've got certification for centuries. So that is another one. Like if I get into the market now, I'm almost certain that I will be getting the kind of job that I want. I don't need to be negotiating for less. So that's another level of insurance. I've also got enough backup from a financial standpoint to make sure that if anything happens, I am good to go. So you also want to build your career in that. You just need to be very intentional, right? About your life, about your career, and about your money. And I mean it. You need to determine who is priority. It's not everybody that calls you, oh, I have this problem, that you throw money out. You can't be throwing your money away because you worked hard for your money. So I'm not telling you not to be kind, but if you already have a budget, you will not throw your money away. So for instance, if you say, okay, I earn, for the sake of argument, I earn 100K, for instance, I earn 100K. Of this 100K, all I need in terms of expenses is 50K, right? The remaining 50K, I would, for whatever I need, let's say another 20K is eating whatever, there is a 30K that I can conveniently save out. Okay, so how do I save this? So I'll take 20K out of it and I'll put it into a long-term investment that will continue to generate me higher returns because I'm taking a higher risk. And there is a 10K I'll put into my emergency fund that will be earning a little bit of money, but I can gain access to that money whenever I want if I absolutely need to reach it. So if even if the money you're earning is 600K, 700K, 1 million, if you use that same analogy for that money, you keep your money. Now, if by the time your salary is hitting your account, it is automatically like you have an automatic debit to take your money into your investment account. If somebody is coming to you to say, oh, I have this problem, I have that problem, you don't have cash. It's as simple as that. You don't have cash. You don't have cash. So, and the answer to people's problem is not always cash. Okay, so you need to be careful, and you need to be now. The another good thing about you taking care of your money is if opportunities come your way, you can take advantage of those opportunities immediately because you have cash. But if you don't have cash, opportunities come your way. Maybe, for instance, you don't have a car and you've been meaning to have a car, but someone is trying to relocate, or someone just wants to sell their car off because they want to buy a new one and they are selling it at the deep discount just because they want some funds to have to the money they have in hand to buy another one or whatever the case may be. But you have an emergency fund you can use to buy it. If you're going to the market, let's say if you're going to the market, you have to buy the car for 2 million. But this is the same car with not too much mileage. Someone is trying to sell to you for 700K or 1 million because they just need that money quickly. You'll be able to use your money to buy it. And then you can save another 1 point something million just because you have cash to respond to that offer. And that also applies in business. Obviously, this is not a business situation, but take care of your money. Okay. Thank you, everyone, and have a great week ahead.